It is? Are you getting anything, Courtney? She's not getting it. The speakers are on. The speakers are on. Okay, well, yeah, then I did not press that button because I thought it was already on, but go ahead. Try it. All right, we'll see about this. Hey, that shouldn't affect the live stream, I don't think, though. Check. There it is. Are we getting sound into the live stream? Oh my. Make me turn that down. Thank you. Right up there, Austin. If you could make your arm longer. Yes? What could possibly go wrong with having two brothers up there? You know what I mean? We can have one. We can have an upstairs Ardal and a downstairs Ardal. Good? Well, good evening, everybody. Are we live? On the internet? Wow. Hey, everybody on the internet. Everybody on the internet. Thanks for joining us tonight. We are going to talk about Powerup clubs. And man, I can't tell you how excited I am to bring Powerup clubs to our church. This is something that I got to be a part of as a high school student, as a college student. It was a ministry that not only I got to see impact kids and families and communities, and it impacted our whole church. I grew so much as a participant in Powerup clubs. I started as a volunteer. By my last year, I was one of the leaders. And I just was able to develop and grow so much, even just in this week. I got to see, again, I share this every time I talk about Powerup clubs, but I can't tell you how many times I heard from the baptistry of our church when someone would give their testimony of how they came to know Jesus. The story started with, I took my kid to Powerup club, or I'm a kid that went to Powerup club, or whatever the case may be. Yes, Nate? You have a video? Okay, well, we'll maybe at the end, we'll watch the video of me doing Powerup clubs. Speaking of things that I did at Powerup clubs, how many of these things should I share? All of them? I'll start with a couple. 1 year, so I had been writing songs as a high school student, and our children's director, her son was our youth pastor. And the way it would work is he would be like, hey, on Sunday he would see me, hey, Wednesday I'm teaching on this topic. Could you just write me a song on that? Just go write, just do it. Go write it, do your music thing, write a song. I'm like, okay. And so that's how I was writing songs. And so most of them were they were tissue songs, use it once and throw it away. But I had one that kind of had some lasting, and so our worship pastor used it and stuff. And so anyway, so then the children's director gets word of this and said, "Oh, can you write me a theme song for Powerup clubs? Like just go do your music thing. Just go write the song." And so 1 year the theme was pirates. And I wrote a theme song, a pirate song, and I don't have the audio. I'm sorry, but it was super fun. We got a bunch of kids from the church and did a little recording. And anyway, But like all the different things. It was so much fun to be involved in kind of Powerup clubs as it was sort of developing as just an our church thing. And then just a few years ago, Joni Alexander, who was the children's director there, she took Powerup clubs and then made it into a beyond just the one church, but a national thing. And so now there's churches all over America that are starting to do Powerup clubs and bring this ministry to their communities. And so it's been so cool to kind of see it, start there and then grow. And I have friends at other churches who are utilizing this, and it's really an exciting thing. First of all, I just want to kind of paint a picture for what does a Powerup Club look like, okay? So I think looking at who's in the room, we all know what VBS looks like, and so it's sort of easy when you say, hey, let's talk about VBS, you already know what to expect. What is that going to look like? Maybe at the end we'll show a video about what it looks like, but I want to talk through it. What does a Powerup Club look like? So first of all, it is a high energy, fast paced, tightly structured, just I'm struggling for words, but it's a high energy, tightly structured, fast paced ministry that's happening all in the span of like not more than an hour and 15 minutes. And it's all focused on getting the kids engaged relationally, getting the kids engaged in terms of the gospel message, getting all of this happening in this high energy package. So it starts with a team. A few minutes before the club, they drive around the corner. They're nearby. They're praying for the club, preparing, getting pumped up. In the meantime, the host home is welcoming all the kids. They're coming, they're gathering, mingling, getting to know one another, and they're preparing for this team to arrive. Around the corner, the team comes. There's music, blaring through the speakers of the car. They're, hooping and hollering out the windows. Don't hang out the windows. That's a good way to get injured. I think some people found that out the hard way. But you're screaming out the windows, coming around the corner. The kids are getting excited because they see this, van of crazy people coming to their neighborhood. The team comes in, unloads, high fives, high energy, welcome people, greet people. There's music going, sing together, maybe do a quick game just to kind of get the ice broken and whatnot. And while all that's happening, most of the team is focused on just welcoming the kids, connecting with them, doing all that. And there's another part of the team that's preparing for what the next element of the club is going to be. And that next one is skit. So after the music and the greeting and just kind of getting a quick icebreaker done with the kids are all gathered. And by the time the rest of the team gets the kids gathered, the actors are all ready for their skit with their little props that came out of their Powerup Club box, and they're ready to go for the opening of the Powerup Club. So they do a skit that is, related to the theme for the day, and then from there, there's a transition into a Bible lesson. So then the captain of the team comes up and gives the Bible lesson for that day, and that's where we have an opportunity to teach from Scripture. The kids right there in the front lawn. And while that is happening, most of the team is there with the kids, encouraging them to be engaged, paying attention. They're just all in support of the communication of the Bible being taught. But at the same time, there's a couple of people who are getting ready for the next element, which is games. And so as soon as the leader is done with the lesson, able to turn the kids over to the game leader, and then games are on. Again, fast pace, get started right away. Kids go do games, having a lot of fun. And while that's happening, the host is preparing a snack. Probably will have already been prepared before then, but getting ready to serve a snack. And so after those games are over, then what comes is what they call snack time plus, because the goal is not the snack. The goal is actually one of the most critical times of the Powerup Club. The goal is to connect with the kids relationally. The goal is for opportunities for building relationships, for getting to know these particular individual kids. Do you live around here? Are you part of a church? What's your story? Just becoming friends with these kids in the matter of 4 days. Also at that time of the snack time is when, you've just had this high energy time, so it's kind of like, okay, slow down, calm down. We get to the snack time, refresh, get some water, get hydrated. And while everyone's kind of calmed down and talking about getting to know one another, that's when a team member will come up and give a testimony of how they came to know the Lord. One of the cool things watching Powerup clubs over the years at CFC was, again, like at the clubs, you would have these high school students who were leading the team and giving their testimony to these kids at the Powerup club, and they were like, there were some of them who were like, man, I came to a Powerup club, and I was sitting where you're sitting, and someone got up here just like I'm getting up here, and they told me that they were a sinner, and they learned that, and they needed to trust in Jesus, and they accepted the gospel of Power Club, and I accepted the gospel of Power Club, and now, a few years later, here I am, and I'm telling you the same story that now I get to tell you about the gospel and the same thing that I accepted when I was in your place. So anyway, it's a really cool time. So on different days, it's kind of alternating between just a personal story of how the particular team member came to know the Lord, or a gospel presentation that's prepared, that's more Bible-driven rather than testimony-driven. So then once that's over, then it's time to transition to a few more games before the closing. Also, one of the things that was really cool, especially some of the later days, is how during that game time, while most of the kids were going to play games, it would be a really good opportunity for a couple of kids, if they needed to have a conversation, if they were asking questions, to get away with another team member. And so the club's not over yet. There's still some time for them to get away and to kind of talk about what maybe the Lord's stirring in their heart, while everyone else is occupied doing the closing game time. So then after the games, get everyone back together, a review of the main point of the Bible lesson, a review of the theme for the day, and then another critical point of the club is an invitation to Powersurge. Now, Nate, do you have that video? Go ahead and pull it up. I wish it wasn't me. This is the opening. This is the skit. That's the. Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah, that's it. Oh, nope, that's not. That's the skit. Here's while I keep. No, yeah, that's the beginning. So there should be one of the ends. That's me chasing children, so that's a great look too. Yeah, this is going great. Anyway, you keep looking for that where there's the lightning bolt on my head, but you'll figure it out. So at the end of the week, so just like at VBS, how we would always have family night at the end of the week, so that the families of the kids, the kids maybe had just been dropped off all week, but then that family night is a chance for the families, the parents or grandparents, and then also maybe older, younger siblings to actually come to our campus and to interact with our members and have a chance to make that connection. Well, so we'll still have that as the Friday of Powerup clubs. And so every single day that the club is happening in the front yard, there's an invitation to come on Friday to what's called Powersurge. And so it's an event. It's basically like family night with games and different activities and snacks and treats and things, different things for everyone to come. And that night also there will be kind of a review of the week, a gospel presentation, some sort of a all together program, if you will. That'll be inviting people if they want to get connected with our church, if they want to know more about the gospel, whatever the case may be. But just the value of those families that have brought let their kids go to these clubs in their neighborhoods and getting them actually to our campus to meet our people, so that even those who hadn't been serving all week, maybe not able to for different reasons, but if they can come on Friday night, then we're all as a church able to welcome these folks and build relationships and Lord willing, be able to continue to use that for the sake of the gospel. So, and then they leave. Okay, so that's, when I say it's like a fast-paced, tight, just high energy, boom, 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 that's what I'm talking about. Welcome, greet everyone. All right, everyone sit down for a skit. All right, now here's a Bible lesson. All right, now go play games. Okay, come back and we're going to do a snack. And then testimony, gospel, then go play games, closing. It's really, really fast, but it's amazing how much substantive ministry can be done in this hour and 15 minutes of interacting with these kids, getting to know them, building relationships, getting the gospel communicated to them, and then, Lord willing, inviting them back so that you can meet their families and whatnot on that Friday night. So while all that's happening as the club, then there's also one of the cool things, and we'll talk about this when we talk about host families, but the cool thing for the host family is that as the club's going on and all this ministry is done with the kids, more than likely there's a parent who's there at the club as well, and they're kind of watching, checking out what's going on, and Lord willing, they stick around because then the host family has an opportunity to connect with the parent. Maybe it's a neighbor that you've already known, and so it's a relationship that's pre-existing, or maybe it's someone that you only would have ever interacted with because you had something for kids in your front yard, and you're able to connect with someone that maybe you hadn't had a chance to connect with before, and build that relationship. And then, so that's an hour and 15 minutes, 4 nights in a week, potentially, to have conversations with neighbors and people that maybe you didn't even know lived nearby you. Also, with something like this, where it's just a, come on, come one, come all. Every once in a while you get someone who's maybe a little too old for a Powerup club. Maybe like 7th, 8th grader, 9th grader who is just told they have to go with their younger siblings, and they're not wanting to participate in these kiddie games or whatever. There's always someone also assigned to that person, because then that's also another hour and 15 minutes, 4 nights a week, to be able to have a relationship built and a conversation started with them as well. So when I say that this is a way for us to reach families in our community, it really is that. It's not only just, drop off your kids and we'll minister to your kids. We're in your neighborhood. We want to connect with you as parents. We want to connect with your older kids. We want to connect with your younger kids. And it really is able to connect with the whole family. So that's what a Powerup Club looks like in brief. Any questions about what a Powerup Club looks like? I know for those of you who were already planning on serving in Powerup Clubs last year, this is probably review. So you may not have questions because Tanya probably already answered them last year. But any questions about what a Powerup Club looks like? So then, what does the week look like? So different churches do different things. In our case, what it's going to look like is Monday through Thursday of Powerup Club week, about early evening. So the clubs will be at 6, and so maybe 5 or so. We'll meet at the church, pray together, get with our teams, make final preparations, make sure everything that we need is in the van or the car or whatever ready to go, and then drive to the clubs. Clubs start and walk through the whole schedule like we talked about, and then a return to the church afterward, and then after the club is going to be a key time for the volunteers, because that's when, first of all, we'll get to eat together. And so that's something we've done in years past, but then we'll be able to do here. One of the cool things about eating together after the clubs, it's a great opportunity to share testimonies about what God had done in the club, to bounce ideas off of each other, like, man, this totally didn't work. Can you help me figure out what to do? We only had 3 kids. How do we make this exciting for 3 kids? We had 50 kids. How can we possibly manage 50 kids? It's those conversations happen. Or, man, that kid I didn't think was going to come back has been here every day, and he's asking me questions about Jesus, and just getting to celebrate that together over the dinner table and have these ministry conversations, fellowshipping with one another. So we'll eat together, celebrate together. Lord willing, one of the most exciting things about being together as a church at Powerup clubs, whenever I was a part of it, is we at least a couple times during the week, we had just a time of worshiping together through music and teaching, and it was so cool to worship together in that context. There's something about being in the trenches every single day together, and then getting to hear the word in that context, and getting to sing together in that context. It just, I don't even know if I can put my finger on what was so special about it, but if Lord willing, it's going to be a tight schedule every evening, but Lord willing, I want us to spend some time just worshiping together in that way, because it's such a investment in our souls as we then go out the next day in our ministering in our community. That is really funny. Joni Alexander, who's the founder of Powerup Club, she texted me right just now as I'm talking about it. Has no idea I'm talking about this right now. She'll be proud that I'm talking about Powerup Clubs. Okay, so then that evening also, after we had a chance to pray together, celebrate together. Cool. Worship together in various ways. Then also that evening is a chance for the teams to prepare for the next day's club. So the skit people can run through their skit together. The game people can walk through what games they're doing. All the different things that go into, okay, are we ready for Tuesday? So you left it, toss it in the van, and then we're off to the clubs. And then that's Monday through Thursday. And then Friday is the Powersurge event. So some games, food, review of the week, gospel, and most importantly, connections with not just the kids who are already there that week, but also with the families as they get to be on our campus. Any questions about kind of what the week looks like, the week of Power Up clubs for the volunteers and the teams that are going out and doing the ministry? All right. So that's what the clubs look like. That's what the team or the week looks like for the teams. So let's talk about the roles. The different ways that each of us can serve on these teams. So the first couple roles are leadership roles, so team leaders. The titles are captain and adult leader. Not that a captain can't be an adult, but historically I think they called it the adult leader because the captain was often like a high school student or early college student, and then the adult leader tended to be older than that, but it's more about the role than about anyway, captain and AL, we'll say, for adult leader, AL, captain and AL. So the captain is the one who is leading the team, leading the team meetings, leading the team and putting the club on. The captain is the one who gives the lesson there on the ground, who's sort of the point person, kind of the upfront point person for the team and for the club. The AL is more of the administrative role. So this is the person who assists the captain by doing a variety of things. Usually the AL is the person who drives, so that the captain is able to focus on other things. Usually the AL is the person who keeps the schedule, since the captain is focused on putting on the club and not necessarily looking at the clock. The AL is sort of the one who keeps the, what's the saying, keeps the trains on time? No, but something like that? Okay. It is now. You go say it, and it'll be a saying. So those are the leadership role. So there's sort of the upfront captain role, leading the team, giving the lesson, all of that, and then the AL is more of the administrative role, behind the scenes, kind of keeping the captain organized and that sort of thing. So then there's team members, and what's true for all team members, including the captain and AL, is that the whole team, this small group of volunteers, is responsible for the whole thing, the whole club. And so different people wear different hats, but a lot of times in a small team, different people will wear multiple hats. And so this is a great opportunity for us to maybe get out of our comfort zone and do maybe something that's in our wheelhouse, but maybe something that, maybe you never saw yourself as an actor in a skit. But hey, you're, wearing a pirate hat in a front yard. Like, it's not, on a stage in front of a crowd full of people. Like, you can do it. So the team members are responsible for all the different aspects. You'll have some who are involved in the skit, some who are the game leaders who organize that. You'll have 4 people, one person each day who either shares their testimony or gives a gospel presentation. One person in charge of sort of the point person for supplies, make sure everybody has what they need before they leave the church. And then, like I mentioned, someone who is designated as like a teen friend who, just in the case that you have someone who is maybe too old for Powerup clubs, they can go hang out and do something with them that isn't, with all the little ones. Speaking of little ones, you can be too old for a Powerup club. You can also be too young for a Powerup club. And so if you don't want preschoolers to get trampled by all the older kids running around and playing tug of war or whatever, then you also want to have someone who is designated as a preschool pal, and in the supply box have some chalk, have some jump rope, something that they can go and hang out with those little ones and serve them even as the older kids are running around and doing all the things. So those are the team roles, the leadership roles of captain and AL, and then the team member roles. And so between, I think we talked last year about having like 5 people on each team. So obviously everyone's gonna wear a couple of different hats, but between those 5 people or so, all of those different roles are covered for those who are on the teams. So then we have the host homes. We talked a little bit about what's involved in being a host home before, but the host home opens up their front yard to be used as a venue for ministry. And that's the first thing that the host home is offering. But also, the host home then works with their fellow church members who live nearby in their same neighborhood to, in the weeks leading up to Powerup clubs, go invite, knock on doors, leave door hangers, invite the families in the surrounding area to come and bring their kids to the Powerup club. And then, like I mentioned, at the club itself, the host provides a power outlet for a boombox or whatever, provides a snack, but then otherwise is primarily focused on connecting with parents who are either bringing their kids, dropping them off, picking them up, or who stay for the purpose of building that relationship for the sake of the gospel. So those are the team roles. Again, very much in front of the scenes. Host homes. There's the stage on which this is happening, and then there's also some behind the scenes roles that are going to be really important. Roles that we're going to need to fill. So one role we're going to need to fill is a meal coordinator. I promised that we would eat together. But one of us has to serve the rest of us by coordinating who's going to provide that meal that we're going to eat together and have such rich fellowship over. So we'll need someone to be a point person for that. Doesn't mean they have to cook all the meals, just coordinate them and organize a team to cook them. Also, one of the roles that we're going to need to fill is the Powersurge coordinator. So again, just mentioned this event, games, snacks, treats, fun. We need someone to coordinate that, to put that together. That's going to take, it can be as small or as big as a church wants it to be. For some, it means like this full-blown family festival kind of event. It doesn't have to be that, but it does. It is going to involve volunteers. Probably not people who have just totally exhausted themselves the last 4 days on Powerup Club team. So probably this is some other people, maybe some overlap, just given the size of our church and volunteer base. But we'll need someone who is able to coordinate that and organize what we're going to have that night for those fun activities for everyone as they come here. And so then lastly, along with that, we'll need Powersurge Volunteers. So that coordinator will need to coordinate people who will run, maybe have a game station that's their responsibility to run, or someone who's distributing a snack or something like that. And then we'll definitely want to have people designated as greeters. We're all going to be the greeter team that night, but we'll definitely want to have at least a couple of people who are specifically tasked with that. Okay, so as far as the roles for Powerup clubs and the needs that we have, the roles to fill, what you can sign up for, any questions about those roles? Be careful how you stretch your arm. I might call you. Okay. Well, so the question that you should all be asking yourself right now is, how can I sign up to serve at Powerup clubs as fast as humanly possible? I'm so glad you all are itching to ask that question. There are sign-up sheets right here. And and as you sign up, do it in remembrance of me. There's 3 different sheets. One is a host home information sheet. So if you're interested in being a host home, this is an information collection. The blanks, you provide the information. It's not anyway. Just to clarify. So host home sheet, captain and AL sheet. So this is for signing up for specifically the team leader roles, and then the Powerup Club volunteer. So that's just for the team member generally role. And so you can come and take one of these afterward, depending on if one of those 3 roles in particular you're interested in. For the other roles like Powersurge coordinator, meal coordinator, I guess those are the only 2 other ones. And then Powersurge volunteers, you can just come talk to me and see me about that. But for those other 3, you can fill out for host home, captain AL, or volunteer to sign up for those roles. And those will be available in the coming weeks too, for those who are on the live stream, for you to be able to do. Just bring them back on a Sunday. There will be, so along with the host home, so we'll try to identify who our host homes will be, how many we'll have, where they'll be by the end of May, so that we can meet together and talk about what that's going to look like in detail, and then have the end of May through the beginning of July then to be strategically working on inviting. Blake?
What time in the evening will this start?
The club start at 6. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so then the kids will probably, we'll encourage them to come, drop off the kids at, between like 5:45 and 6, so that at 6 o'clock when the team rolls up, it's like, boom, hit the ground running. July 5th through the 9th. So I believe that the 4th of July parade is going to be on the 3rd. And so probably what we're looking at is a day together as a church family preparing for Powerup clubs. That morning, potentially being involved in the parade, but certainly that afternoon, then coming together, and after we've invited people in the morning at the parade, coming together to prepare for that coming week, training together, practicing together, doing all the training. So that'll be that Saturday evening or afternoon and evening will be boot camp training. So that's the main bulk of the training for all the teams leading up to Powerup clubs. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Host homes, we're going to try to identify those by the end of May, so that I think May 23rd, that's the fourth Sunday of May, we can get the host homes together, host home families together, meet together and talk about strategizing for the coming weeks. Captains and ALs, there'll be a leadership training meeting time on that Friday before, in the evening, July 2nd. And then, yes. Yes. So the captain and AL, those are the team leaders, and the captain is the upfront leader, the one who does, who's primarily leading the different team members in their tasks, the one who is giving the lesson, the upfront leader. The AL, or adult leader, is more of the administrative role, keeping watch on the schedule, driving, assisting the captain, in that sort of capacity. And usually there's some overlap in both of those. It's just those are the two that are kind of the go-to for team leadership. Does that clarify? Awesome. So then those leaders will be a part of a leadership training that Friday evening before July 2nd, and then the leaders and all the team members will come together on that Saturday, July 3rd, for preparation and for boot camp training for that week, preparing and getting everything set. And then Powerup Club week starts then on that Monday, July 5th, and we'll carry on through Powersurge on that Friday. And I think those are the key dates. When are the meals done? Served? So let's see. The club start at 6. We get done at 7:15. Probably about 7:30. Yeah. Not about 18 minutes from right now, actually. If anyone's getting hungry, it's because it's almost mealtime. Yes, that's Friday evening. All right. Any other questions you guys have? Yes. It's called the Bible, and sorry, the question was, is there a curriculum that will follow? Yes. So Powerup Clubs provides the lessons, all the resources that we need in order to put things in our hands to be able to then go do the club. So for everything from lesson themes, skits, we're not inventing our own skits, but yeah. And so thank you for that. And the sort of the theme is science jam. So like the skit is like a wacky professor or a wacky scientist kind of thing, and there's experiments that's part of that and stuff. So anyway, that's sort of the theme. But then, and I can't remember the Bible stories off the top of my head. So we're using the theme from last year. Yeah, I'll go do my music thing. Just go write your song. Bring it back later tonight. So, oh, you want to see the Surgeonator? Do you have the Surgeonator video? So the Surgeonator is a character that invites everyone to Powerup Clubs, but the Surgeonator doesn't have power until he gets his lightning bolt hat. So, That wasn't fast forwarded. I was really talking that fast. And I hope that my shirt is that wet because I got a bucket of water dumped on me and not because of sweat. But it's probably more likely the sweat. That's probably, Jacksonville, Florida in the summer. That's more than likely. There's other people. Okay. So maybe I have a little bit of hope, but probably not. That's the official uniform of Powerup clubs is a sweat-stained T-shirt. So anyway, that's the Surgeonator. I'm going for a hard sell on this one. Sorry, another question? No? Okay. Yes. In fact, when you sign up, the T-shirt size is requested on there. What other questions do you have? What questions should you have? None, because I answered all of the questions perfectly. How soon can I sign up? I'm so glad you asked. For one night only. Just kidding. You can sign up anytime between now and June 5th. Great. July 5th. Oh, July 5th. Yes. Sign up before the club start, please. Okay. Anything else? Questions on Powerup clubs? Okay. Well, Lord willing, we'll have more chances to talk about all this. Since we're here at a family meeting, and we have a few minutes left, what do you think, fellow elders? Should we call it a night, or should we spend a few minutes continuing the fruitful conversation we had last month? Yes. Okay. Great question. So, it's such a great question. It's worth repeating. The question was, how many host homes are we wanting to have? So, probably between, probably a good target would be like 4 or 5. So now that means for every house, that's a team. So that's 20, if it's 5 people on a team, 20 to 25 team members. And we'll, last year, so the LaRues, the Manleys, the Seaborns, my family, and the Campbells were at one point, I think that was who we had signed up. And if you know the geographical layout of those, it's all kind of spread out strategically. So the goal was to kind of have zones throughout Erath County covered. And so we have our Morgan Mills zone. We have our walking horse. I used to live on a street near Cutting Horse, and it's just too many horses. Walking Horse zone, the Morgan Mills zone, the Prairie Wind zone, the Middle of Town zone, the Blue Bonnet zone, right? And so we kind of had those covered. And so that'll be part of it is, so say we have, 10 people sign up as I would be willing to be a host home. Probably we're going to narrow that down. And that will be narrowed down probably based on geography, so that we, aren't having next door neighbors trying to do competing Powerup clubs or something like that. But great question, yeah. And if we have 3, maybe we only have the volunteers for, as we were making the decision last year about whether or not to postpone Powerup clubs, we were looking at volunteers who had signed up, and we said, we can really staff 3 teams, and so we're going to do 3 host homes. Of course, then we never actually ended up doing it at all, so we didn't. But so that's potentially if we think we can only do 3 well, then we'll do 3. But it's looking like, Lord willing, a target would be 4 or 5. Dayland. We will definitely want to have an organized follow-up. So we'll want to get all of the kids in, not all of their information, but we'll want to get contact information for each of the kids that comes to the clubs. So even those who don't come on Friday, we're able to follow up with, especially any of those who are indicating a desire to trust in Jesus or ask more questions or looking for a church or whatever the case may be. But yeah, we'll definitely. And so probably what that means is we'll need like a follow-up coordinator, just someone to run point on that, and to make sure that if there's information. Thank you, Nate. Sorry, the question was about follow-up. I was just about to repeat that question, and then I started answering it. I'm sorry. But yeah, we'll need someone to run point on that. Okay, yeah. Bluebonnet Zone, the war is on. If you want, yeah, it's King of the Hill over there. So awesome. Thank you, Brad and Peggy. We got 1 host home secured already. Slots are going fast. Act now. I feel like I'm on like QVC right now. Like, this is great. Call the number on your screen, and you too could be a host home for Powerup clubs. Yes. Did you put my phone number on the internet again? There we go. What are associate pastors for? Are you trying to ask a question? Maybe if you talked into 2 mics at the same time. I'll repeat. Follow-up. Okay, so there's a follow-up question about the question about follow-up. This makes sense. All right. We got a question? The Greshams would like to be a host home. Wow, these live stream people are getting faster to the sign-ups than the people in the room. Okay.
They don't have to embarrassingly walk in front of people. We just talk about them when they're not here. Follow-up question also for are we going to have any kind of material about like our ministries and stuff like that to be able to like if there's a dad, could I have a thing that said, men's prayer breakfast Mondays at 6:30, gentlemen, like men's prayer breakfast at 6:30 on Mondays, like men's prayer breakfast at 6:30.
I'm beginning to think this isn't
Mondays.
A question about Powerup.
So anyway, like if there's something like that, or if there's a ladies' Bible study at the time, or are there things like that where maybe we could even plan an event in the near future to invite more people to the church? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, thank you for volunteering to create that so we can put it in people's hands.
It's my joy.
What a guy. Yeah, no, that's great, and certainly that's a great idea. And you know what? There might even be between now and July. There's plenty of time for more other like ways we can kind of make this our own, make it stronger. And so bring those ideas. I mean, let's make this a group effort. And if you have that idea for connecting with someone, for getting people more connected to our church, let's talk about those things and let's make it happen. So. Yeah. Does anyone besides Dalen have a question? No? Okay.
Will there be T-shirts for the children involved?
So So the problem is we have no idea how many kids are going to be there. Or what? So sizes, quantity, maybe, yeah.
Get sizes and numbers on Monday, and then they get them at the Surge thing as another draw for them to go, or
Probably too fast of
Okay.
turnaround.
that's fair.
Yeah, so maybe we have a few that you can, probably not. Probably not. No. Probably just for team members. So I don't want to end on that downer. You get a t-shirt, you get a t-shirt, you get a t-shirt. It's a great place for that door. All right. Well, then I will, if there's no more questions, then I will, we'll call it a night, and you guys can come and feel free to sign up or grab these sheets, take them, fill them out, bring them back, and go from there. All good? All right. Thank you all for being here tonight. Appreciate you. Let's pray. Father, thank you for this church family. Thank you for what awaits us this summer. Lord, I pray that you would use this church family for your name's sake in our community. Lord, truly, would we put Jesus on display in the front yards of Stephenville and Erath County. Lord, I pray that even now, you, the God who is sovereign over salvation, the God who grants repentance, that you would be stirring and working in the hearts of parents, grandparents, children, siblings, Lord, those who are going to come and attend these Powerup clubs throughout our community. Lord, I pray that they would see the signs and that it would get their attention, Lord, that they would see that invitation from a neighbor and that it would get their attention, that they would come, that you would bring them, that they would be loved and welcomed, and Lord, that they would hear with open hearts and open ears the gospel of Jesus Christ. Lord, that children and parents, that families would come to know you, who maybe never would have stepped foot in a church or never would have brought their kid to a church function, but Lord, when the church came to them, they got to hear the gospel. And Lord, I pray that you would even now be preparing those. Lord, for our church, for those members who are here tonight and those who were not able to be with us tonight, Lord, I pray that you would also be preparing our hearts, Lord, as we seek to serve, as we seek to proclaim, as we seek to organize ourselves and strategically work for the sake of your gospel. Lord, I pray that you would work in our hearts and prepare us for this ministry. Lord, that we would take advantage of this opportunity that we have as a church to go out into our community, to love our community well, to serve our community well, and to proclaim the gospel. Lord, as we go from this place tonight, I just ask that you would be honored in our hearts as we take on this week. Lord, will we do so for your glory, by your strength, and Lord, as your ambassadors. We love you and praise you. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Sign up right here.